Look at that majestic creature. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Talking about you, man. He just sits out here looking into the wild. You know, the home of his ancestors. He's like, one day I'll return to the woods and be a wolf. Dreaming of that wolf life. Aren't we all like that? So I made a video several days ago that I forgot to post and then accidentally deleted. And I had my, trash emptied and all of that, so it's gone. It's pretty annoying. But I'll make it again right now on the fly. It was basically saying that 2 weeks ago now, I made a video kind of describing my next strength training cycle, right? Oh, sorry, I'm blinding y'all with the sun right now. I'm trying to get that early morning vitamin D. Always take a walk out here, no shirt, no glasses, just try to get that sunlight all up in my eyes and my skin. Vitamin D, testosterone in the morning, yada yada yada. Anyway, so 2 weeks ago I made this video, guys. And I was basically saying like, yeah, I'm gonna do, all this like weighted calisthenics stuff, this and that. But I don't know, man. I started to do it and then tried to climb hard at the same time. Just wasn't happening. And I feel like I'm not really willing to climb like crap and feel like sore and shit all the time. I'd rather just climb. Because here's the thing. I'm only about a year and I think a month now, so 13 months into bouldering. I'm climbing at like an intermediate level, like, V5 and stuff like that. It's considered like intermediate, you know what I mean? But I still feel like a beginner. I think the only reason I'm climbing V5 is because I'm strong, I don't feel like I'm doing that skillfully lately. I mean, I could be climbing a lot better. It's my way of thought. I should probably spend as much time as possible just climbing. I mean, even when I took like 1 week off for vacation, I climbed outside at Fontainebleau like a little bit, not too much, nothing too hard. But yeah, that week off and then coming back, I felt like an idiot on the rocks. It reminded me of being a swimmer back in the day. Like I would swim year round, but then there'd be maybe like a month period between like the recreation team that would be on during the summer and then like the school team. There'd be like maybe a month of like not swimming between those two swim teams, right? And even though I climbed 11 months out of the year, that 1 month off always screwed me up because swimming was such a like high coordination activity that would feel like crap for at least a week or two whenever I got back into it. It was like my body was all of a sudden stupid and I couldn't like coordinate my stroke right. Now it came back quickly, obviously, but still, it was quite annoying that like very specific skill of like swimming technically well and fast would be like gone that quickly. And I feel like climbing is the same way, man. I felt like an idiot climbing like probably the first 2 days I was back. And all I wanted to do, and I didn't want to do like all this weightlifting kind of shit. I was like, I just want to get better at climbing again because I feel like shit right now. So just climbed more, climb more, climb more. Now I feel like I'm back to where I was and like a little bit better probably. Now that it's been like 2 weeks or so since my vacation. So with that experience, guys, and thinking back to swimming, I'm thinking I just gotta spend more and more time climbing. I think that's probably the best way to get better at climbing. Makes logical sense, right? Oh, well, if I want to get better at climbing, I gotta climb, obviously, right? You know, and I don't think I want to expend all this energy. God, I'm sweaty. Hot out here, guys. I don't want to expend all this energy doing like 100-pound pull-ups. You know what I mean? But I can just climb something that's like a V5 or V6 and probably get a similar strength stimulus in like the lats and stuff. You know, the forearms, the biceps, freaking upper back. But also get the stimulus necessary to get better at climbing, which is just climbing, right? So I don't know. I'm probably going to do something totally different than what I had planned now. Climb as often as possible. I'm going to keep pushing the work capacity because I feel like the cardio I've been doing has been great for my health. I feel like I have more energy to expend during the day. I'm sleeping better, I feel. My blood pressure has dropped considerably. My resting heart rate is slowly falling too, which is just great for health. And yeah, man, I think that kind of training, like doing all the hundreds of reps, I think I did like 1,000 of reps in like one workout the other day, doing like legs, bodyweight squats, lunges, you know, shit like that. You know, dragging sleds, you know what I mean? Doing like, I did barbell squats yesterday, but I just did triples, going up 10 pounds at a time from the bar, and just loading up the bar as fast as I could. So it was like sprinting through this workout, going up from like 45 to 185 and just doing like triples constantly. Like I was out of breath because I was just like, nah, no rest. You know what I mean? And it felt good. It's great. Endurance, work capacity, cardiovascular, strength and health and endurance. Rambling at this point, but you get what I mean. All this training, what it's doing is making me more healthy, and it's also giving me the ability to do more. You know what I mean? Like, I climbed, I think, just 3 days this week. Next, I'm going to go ahead and try 4 days. And we'll try to work up to 5 days, maybe even 6 days a week. You know, maybe even 7 days a week, eventually, right? In my mind, the more I'm climbing, the better. If that's my freaking, you know, end goal or whatever, my ultimate, you know, fitness hobby goal is to, like, be a better climber, I just gotta get to where I can climb as much as possible. That's my thoughts right now. I'm looking at the professionals. You know, I'm not trying to be professional, but I'm looking at the guys that are the elite of the elite. What are they doing? They're sure as hell not lifting weights. You know? I'd say at least 99% of them are doing yoga and they're doing gymnastics, dude. Those two things. Yoga and gymnastics. That's their supplemental training. Everything else is just climbing. You know, they might do some hangboarding, they might do some, you know, freaking campus boarding or whatever. But they're just climbing, guys. And they're doing the yoga and gymnastics just to stay healthy and to keep, like, a very high mind-muscle connection, very high proprioception, if you will. Okay? Very high level of coordination in general. And muscle control, you know. It's just a super old school style of training. I was kind of looking into, you know, I'd read some books about muscle control before, and Like Max Sick comes to mind, old strongman from Germany, I believe. Oh, dude claimed, popping a squat here real quick. Dude claimed that he would only lift weights for performances, you know? Because back then, strongmen were like performers. And, yeah, he would literally even issue challenges to people and be like, I won't touch a weight for 3 months and I will still outlift you. And so he would just do all these like crazy muscle control exercises or like body leveraging exercises like a gymnast would do. And then he would just freaking pick up, you know, like a 300-pound dumbbell and just press it overhead, like bent press style, you know. I think that was like his specialty, if I'm remembering correctly. Insane. And I'm thinking about who else did this. There's a few other strongmen doing shit like this where they did mostly gymnastics or simply muscle control style training, similar to like yoga or like kung fu. And these guys were huge. They were like freaking jacked, ripped to the gills, strong as shit, flexible as shit. You know what I mean? I don't know, it just got me thinking, like, is the weightlifting even necessary? For me, for climbing, probably not. And even in general, for strength, maybe not, you know? I've got 2 books that I'll go back to kind of regularly that I think are really good in terms of just, like, strength training advice, but they're like old school shit, like century-year-old books, you know? One is by Arthur Saxon. The other is by Farmer Burns. Both, you know, at a time were like national wrestling champions. I think Arthur Saxon was like a Greco-Roman wrestling champion in Germany, I believe. And then Farmer Burns, he was American? I think he was American. If not, he was like English or something. I can't really recall. But he's more of a folk-style wrestling champion. They're both basically performing strongmen as well. And they have completely different training styles, right? So Farmer Burns was just all about body weight only and did a ton of like static isometric and overcoming isometric exercises. Especially like pitting muscle against muscle kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like kind of like stuff like a bodybuilder would do to like pose. You know what I mean? Like clasp your hands together and just like make your biceps like poke out. He would do that kind of shit, but for like muscle control and nervous system training. So he'd do that like as hard as he could for like 20 seconds or something. And just get that peak muscle contraction and mind muscle connection, stuff like that. Freaking dogs barking. But yeah, he would do that. He would lift very small weights and do these like elaborate kind of like shoulder exercises with like tiny weights. And he said his advice in that book was to work out pretty much as you can, body weight only, or tiny weights. If you ever lift anything over 50 pounds, it's going to screw up your flow basically, and you're going to get sore and tight. And he was really against weight training, which is kind of weird. But it worked for him. He was super strong, obviously. Wrestled guys twice his size. I think the guy was like my size, or even smaller, maybe like 150-ish pounds, 160-ish pounds. And it was like wrestling guys twice his size and beating them. And he'd also do crazy shit. Like his specialty was like neck strength. He had a huge freaking neck. I think he had like a 19-inch neck. And he was like 5'9" or something. You know, 160 pounds. And he would hang himself as like a strongman performance. He would even jump from like a 3 or 4 foot height and just, you know what I mean? He just, by the power of his neck muscles, his like neck flexion, he would just hang there. And then he would like whistle songs while he's literally hanging from his neck. Crazy ass. Now Arthur Saxon, complete opposite. His thing, especially after he was done with his wrestling career and was now like a strongman and weightlifter, uh, weightlifting performer, whatever you want to say. He was like, here's what you do if you want to get good at weightlifting, if you want to get strong. Just train twice a week. And that was pretty much all of his advice. That's a pretty funny book, man. Y'all should check that out. Arthur Saxon's book on strength. I think he only read it one, so it's pretty easy to find. I forget the name of it right now. But yeah, man, that book is really funny. And at the very start of the book, he writes something like, all these strong men have all these stories about how they started off weak and sickly, and through their training and only their training, they became like strong and healthy. And it's like, I'm here to tell you that I was born strong as hell, and through my training, I got a little bit stronger. And I think that's very, very funny and honest. Some people are just born strong, man. I knew a lot of people that were born strong. Dude, friend of mine, giant Samoan guy, he was like 6'4" in middle school, like 260 pounds. Dude, just born strong, man. You know, he could like pick people up when he was like 12. You know what I mean? Some people are just born strong. But Arthur Saxon, man, he was like, yeah, all I do is lift weights twice a week, and I go for walks. And he's like, anything else would screw me up because I work so hard at lifting. And my nervous system and joints and all this stuff, my muscles, need to rest the rest of the week. So I don't want to do anything else that'll tax my body, because I want to focus on that. And that's how I get strong. And that guy was strong as shit. If you haven't heard of Arthur Saxon, you know, look him up. Dude was like, I think he was bench pressing like 370 pounds or some kind of crazy shit. You know, the 3-inch barbell block thing called the Saxon bar is named after him. If you heard of that, if you're into grip training or strongman events, that's named after him. Guy had insane grip as well. So yeah, two totally different training methods, right? I think they're both valid, but I think, man, if you want to get good at something, you gotta just practice whatever that is. And anything else is just gonna be, you know, supplemental training to maintain your health and like the integrity of your body, like the balance of your joints and stuff. I just shared a video earlier about something I think I made up. Maybe some other people have like done it before, I'm sure. You know, in the wide, you know, wide world we live in, somebody's done that exact exercise before, but I haven't seen it. So if you have seen it before, or you know it's called something else, let me know. But I'm calling it Hindu Tyson push-ups, which is basically just like a super like multi-planar kind of push-up, right? Like you kind of start in an overhead position and then swoop down from like a horizontal press into like almost a dip looking press, and then reverse that motion, right? So you're getting kind of a wide range of pressing strength. In climbing, I get a wide range of pulling strength, so I figured maybe I should try some like multi-planar pressing to kind of, you know, again, for my health, my body to balance, you know, my joints. I don't want to be so strong in my back, but then weak in my chest. So strong in the back of my shoulders in particular, but weak in my anterior shoulders. I want to have balance so I can have longevity, right, in my sport, in my life. I don't want to be like these guys I've seen that are like in their 40s and their posture is like this, you know, and they complain about hurting their shoulders all the time when they climb. Oh, that was a nice little squat stretch. Woo. Anyway, guys, I probably talked way long enough. If anybody's still watching, wow, you're crazier than I am. Props. So yeah, I'll probably delete that video where I was talking about doing like lifting again or whatever for this training cycle, because I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do gymnastics, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to climb as much as I freaking can, dude. That's it. All right, y'all. Peace. Have a good one.